everyone. I've got a few projects I want to accomplish today in the van. One of them is to clean the solar panels. In the last video, I was up on top of the fort at Fort DeSoto Park and looking down on the top of the van, and I mentioned how dirty the solar panels were. And so I thought what I would do today is clean the solar panels and try to do it as if I were dry docking. Even though I'm parked here at the house, I could just drag the hose over and easily clean them off. But I need to get used to that and figure out what works for me. When I'm at, let's say I'm sitting in the desert somewhere and the solar panels are getting layers of dust on them, I want to be able to go out, clean them off, and I'm not going to have a water spigot or anything to use, so it'll be a good practice. So I'm going to do that and show you guys how I go about it and what I think will work for me. I'm going to try to figure it out as I go. Also, I need to clean these fans, and I want to show you guys a little video clip where Kevin installed some Sumo Springs on the van, and he'll talk about why I did that also. So I have this ladder that I keep right back here in the garage area of the van, and it's just one of those telescoping ladders. So I'll set it up on the side of the van, and I'll have to switch it halfway through to the other side because I can only reach, halfway across each time. What I'm going to be using to wash it with is this telescoping, I think it has a squeegee and a mop. I've been dying to use this. Finally going to get around to it. I just got these off Amazon and I thought they looked like they would work pretty good. So, like this one here, if I can figure out how it says push. So I'm going to push this. And it's got the mop on this side and the squeegee on this side. And then there's another squeegee here, which I think is exactly the same. So it's just a replaceable one. And then there's this other one that's good for dusting and that sort of thing, but I'm going to use the mop. It telescopes out. Not super long, but long enough to get across the two panels on the one side, and then I'll move the ladder, like I said, and do the other two panels. For water, I thought about using this, but I don't want to have to carry that up the ladder, and because it's kind of heavy. I may get a smaller one of these because I think that the pressure that they offer will be good as long as I have a place I can store it easy in the van. But for today, I'm just going to use this spray bottle here and see if that works. I also could, if I wanted, fill the tub, the little collapsible tub that I keep here in the back of the van. I could also carry that up if I wanted, but it's safer if I don't have to carry a bunch of water, splashing around and stuff up that ladder. So I decided I'm going to start with dusting the solar panels off first. That way I don't just create mud up there, and then I'll mop and squeegee. So I'm going to change this out, and I was looking at these are done really well. It's Velcro on the one side, and then it has like this strap that's sewn in that just comes off like that, and then you change the covers out exactly the same way. So as I said, I'm going to start by dusting the loose dust off of here first, and then I'm going to spray it with water. And I want the water to sit just for a moment, and then I'll mop it, which will get off some of this stuck on bug goo and sap or whatever this is that's on top of it. And now I just need to squeegee it off. And I might have to do this a couple times, we'll see. Alright, that should be good. It wasn't as dirty as I thought. I think we've had some rain since that video I showed you where they were all pretty dirty. But I like this. Now, I could have climbed on top of the van because there is a board up there. But I get nervous up there on top of the ladder, so I'd prefer just to go up as high as I can reach and then, you know, do it from there. But yeah, that's gonna work well, I think, when I'm on the road. So these are the Max Air fans, and they're really easy to take the screen off and clean it, and they need it. This fan I usually have blowing in, and then the front fan I usually have blowing out. This one's covered in bugs, like little gnats and things that get sucked in. The other one's covered in lint and cat hair and stuff that come off the bedding and everything that I put in the van. So let me show you how these come off. So these little tabs just twist like this. And you have to make sure they clear the edge. Once they clear the edge, you can work it off of here pretty easy. Yeah. Want to make sure you don't tip it or it'll get all over your bedding. I don't have the bed made in here right now. I just have the sofa thing, but I don't want it getting all over that either. And then I get down. As you can see, I have the center leaf taken out of here right now because I've been working on a project over here. This is the counter surround that's going to be going in. I'll show that to you at a later date. But okay, so I think there was one that got away. I'm gonna take this out and rinse it off, but before I do, I'm gonna get Kevin to help me get this one down, since I don't want to have to grab my stool, so I can do them at the same time. These are nasty. So I'm just gonna try to dust the bugs off of here first. And then I've shown you guys in the past this shower pump. Let me put these down for a second and get this out of my way. I'm gonna use the shower pump to rinse them off. And I wanna make sure I go from the right direction so it actually comes off of there. Make sure that's in there. So this way, if I'm out boondocking, I can just rinse them off using this pump. Oops, try not to drop them in the dirt. Look at how dirty that is. Can you see? Oh, you can't see it because of the shadow there. Man, full of lint and everything else. I can't believe how dirty they got so quick. So let me make sure I do it from the right side. So this one, I had it blowing out, so the top is the part that has the stuff. I want to blow it through so it comes off just like that. All right. Turn that off so I'm not wasting any more water. Take off the excess water. And then they go back in the same way. So what I'm going to do now is wipe the blades down. That's the messy part. Okay, so these blades here can actually come off. You need like an Allen key or something like that to pull it off of here. But when I'm out boondocking, I'm probably not gonna go through the trouble of doing that. I might just want to, wipe this down a little bit, which is what I'm gonna do right now. But when I'm back here at the house like today, I could probably take that off, rinse it out too with the hose, and be done with it. But since when I'm boondocking, I'm gonna want to save water, and I'm just gonna wipe these blades the best I can to get some of the bug goo and stuff off, just like that. Just wipe it down, and then put the screen back on it. So I changed my mind, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this off just because I have the opportunity right now to do it. But I have the option if I want to just wipe it down, or if I'm in a situation where I have the water convenience, like at a hookup site or something, then I can do it this way. But this way you'll get to see how I do it also. Alright, so I'm going to go rinse this off now. Actually, I'll go ahead and wipe this down. When that's off of there, it's so much easier to clean because you can get to all this a lot easier. And if you do have a bed or something underneath the fan, you definitely want to put something on the bed so you can keep all this off of it as it drops in your face. Okay, so this has all been rinsed, and to put it back up, it goes in just like it came off. You want to make sure you don't put it upside down, which you really can't because you're looking for this here, and you want to make sure where this Allen key fits in that little spot there. You want to make sure it's up against this flat edge right here. Slides on just like that, and then you tighten it up. That should be good. So that's done. Now here's that clip that I was telling you about of Kevin doing the Sumo Springs.
Today we are going to install some Sumo Springs on Cindy's van, and the reason for this is it's going to just help with the overall load stability and driver control. It doesn't help with any payload capacity or anything like that, but it is going to help with the way the vehicle rocks back and forth when you're going down bumpy roads and things like that in the sway. Just to give you an idea, this goes in place where the factory bump stock is, and this is the Sumo Spring, and this is the factory bump stock, so you can see quite a bit of difference there between the two. It comes with everything you need to install it, and really all you need is a ratchet, some sockets, and it gives you the Loctite. You're going to use Loctite on the bolts, and it gives you the bolts that you need. It should be relatively easy. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is jack up one side of the vehicle to get the tension off the suspension so we can fit the Sumo Spring under there. And then I'm going to use a jack stand for safety once I get it jacked up. Alright, so I had to jack it up from the back and jack up both sides to get more tension off the axle, because when I jacked it from one side over here, I wasn't able to get enough tension off the axle for it to hang down low enough. to actually get my wrench and other stuff to fit in between there. As you can see, you really have to get this thing jacked up. And if you have like a lift at a shop, or if you can take it to a shop, then they'll be able to put it on a lift and this thing will really hang down and you'll be able to get it in there without any issue. You can see there's quite a bit of gap there to be able to get the Sumo spring up in there, plus get the ratchet and everything else in there, and then be able to get the extension and everything out. Once you install it, you still have to be able to get that out of there. So you really need to get a lot of slack in between the axle and the frame up there. And then I do have some safety jacks underneath over there, and everything feels pretty solid. I got blocks up at the front tires, so nothing should roll on me. And the tires are actually still kind of touching the ground, so I could go up higher, but I don't think I need to. I think I'll be able to get the Sumo spring in there and get the ratchet and everything out the way it sits right now. So we'll see what happens. So they give you some blue thread lock for the threads. I'll put some of that on there. And then get this lined up. That one's installed, and now let's see if we can get this tool out. That's what's going to be tricky. I may have to try to jack it up higher, but I'm hoping I can detach this. Maybe. I need a little screwdriver. Let me see if I can take this socket off of the extension. There. So I can get that out and get that out. So that's one side, and now we'll move over and do the other side. So this is the passenger side, and this still has the bump stock on. And you just pretty much grab it and work it back and forth until you can get it out. You can see it comes out pretty easy. And then you got a bolt right there that you have to remove. And then the Sumo spring goes in that spot right there. You see we got them both installed now. And one side was able to get enough sag in the axle to fit the Sumo springs and the ratchet and all the stuff up in between the axle and the frame. It literally took like maybe 5 minutes to do this. It's super easy install. So that finishes the install of the Sumo springs on Cindy's van. And it was pretty easy. Before I started, I measured from the ground to the bottom of this fender well, and we had 31.5 inches, and I measured it again just now, and we have 32.5 inches, just under actually 32.5 inches. So it lifted it about an inch in the back, and the real test will be when Cindy can get it out there and give it a try on some bumpy roads.
Well, I can tell you already that the Sumo springs make a difference. Even though I haven't taken it on really bumpy roads yet, we did go for a drive around some of the areas in the neighborhood that we knew were uneven and usually would shake the van quite a bit, and it's much steadier now. It doesn't do that kind of, you know, how before when we'd go around a curve, you'd hear things kind of rattling and going like this a little bit. This was much quieter and much smoother. So I think it's going to help a lot. I'm trying to get ready for when I start boondocking, and I know I'm going to probably have to go off onto some of the dirt roads and that sort of thing. And when I go out west later this year, I know I'm going to be glad to have a steadier ride. So, you know, just all these little things, trying to get them done. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll do so. And I will see you next week.